The beauty of using digital synths and analog synths which have patch storage is that you've got presets, and I love flicking through presets and finding a sound that kind of quickly that works and either modifying it if I need to or leaving it as is. I mean, if it sounds great, there's nothing wrong with using a preset. It still depends on which notes you use and how you put it in your track. I mean, two people can use a synth with exactly the same sounds and it could still come out with some very different results at the end of it. So it's all down to how you use it. Especially when it comes to FM synth, I think there's some really nice presets which Ableton and various other people have contributed. So for the purposes of this track, there's a really nice one called Dangerously Deep, which I'm just going to drag into the track here. Now I'm going to program a slightly different pattern for the bass here. I'm not going to use my keyboard for this one because it's quite a techno track and I don't actually need to play anything in as such. I'll keep it in C and I'll put one note here, one note here, and one note there. And let's have a listen and hear how that sounds. Okay, cool. Now there's a bit of movement on the panning with that, which I actually don't mind that much, but maybe I'll adjust it later on. Let's have a listen. It's quite a low sound. I'm just going to bump up the octave one. Okay, that's better. Okay, cool. So that's just playing one note right now. And what I want to do is make a chord using that note. And I could either just click the notes in here on top, or I'm actually not going to change the melody line anyway. So I'll just use the chord plugin, which is one of the MIDI effects here. So just drag a blank chord plugin, down here, and put it before it. And I'll play that there so you can hear. I want to put it up by +7, which is a perfect fifth, is the name of that interval, which I use quite a lot. And I'm going to drop this next one down. Also, that's a perfect fifth. It's exactly an octave lower than this note here. And let's see. Why don't I put up this one here to 3, and this one up here exactly 1 octave. And I can either do that one by one, or I can hold Shift and hit the up arrow, and it jumps up exactly 1 octave. Now you'll hear that that's clipping quite a lot. So I'm turning the volume down a bit. Always keep your volume down within the channel. You don't want this to clip. You always want to keep your master volume here at 0, and everything else should be turned down. So I might even turn that down a bit more. Okay. Now that's sounding very nice indeed. That's what I want to use for the main bass. I'm going to drop an EQ after it as well. This is just my default EQ setting. I'm going to turn off the bottom one here and slightly bump up this section here in this range. Give it just a little bit more. Boom. Okay, and that's the bass pretty much sorted.